following is a presentation of Learfield IMG College.
This is Duck Insider.
Give it to Verdell. He's got the first down and go. Duck fans start celebrating. Oregon is the 2019 Pac-12 champion. The 2020 Rose Bowl champion.
Richardson, another open three. Good. Duarte dribbles and slams with the right hand. For the third time in the last 5 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions. Outright champs.
Foley three. Good. Foley ball. Down Shelley. Three ball. Good. Regular season champions and now Pac-12 tournament champions.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
We're just getting started.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Thank you, and welcome to another busy edition as we are right in the middle of fall camp. But the Ducks were in pads for the first time, full pads for the first time today. So we have a lot of interviews coming up, including head coach Mario Cristobal, who met with the media just a little while ago. We have that for you coming up on the show. We will also hear from a number of Oregon football players as we jump into a lot of interviews. Also, though, some good news today coming about Hayward Field. Brand new Hayward Field, as we know. NCAA championships will be hosted at Hayward Field for 6 of the next 7 years, starting in 2021. Can't wait for 2021 to get here, by the way. Does everybody else feel that way? I sure feel that way. 2021, 22, 24, 25, 26, and 27 will all be Hayward Field's track and field championships. I mean, this is just great. What better way to introduce the world and the NCAA to Hayward Field? Hosting those championships for outdoor track and field, just outstanding. Congratulations to really everybody involved at Hayward Field. So we're going to hear from Mario Cristobal coming up in just a moment, but wanted to start with that. Big note today is that Chris Randazzo opting out of the season due to COVID-19 concerns. That is the latest from Mario Cristobal, but we'll hear from him coming up in just a moment. And also, the women's Final Four won't be in Portland in 2026 and 2027. I'm disappointed. I am, honestly, I really thought that we were going to see the Final Four for the women in Portland. It's unfortunate, but here we are. Instead, though, Portland was awarded the NCAA Tournament Women's Regional for 2024. Also got the Men's NCAA Tournament first and second rounds in 2026. I don't know if that's a really good consolation prize, but it's a consolation prize nonetheless. So there you go. Some of the news for today. We're going to hear from Mario Cristobal in 2 parts, and he talked to the media for about 17, 18 minutes today, right around the noon hour. We're live in the 1 o'clock hour, so we've got it ready for you. Also, we're going to hear from Alex Forsyth. Great quotes from Alex Forsyth, by the way. You're really going to like what you hear from him. Cyrus B.B. Licchio, as Jorgie calls him, TD Licchio. Johnny Johnson III, and new wide receivers coach Brian McClendon met with the media last night. That's our entire show for today. As I've often said, nobody cares what I think. Let's hear from the coaches and players, beginning with the head football coach, Mario Cristobal.
Good morning, good afternoon to everybody. Appreciate you guys being on here. This was, for us, practice 5. We've had 4 really challenging practices in the last, I would say 4 in the last 5 days. Today was a big walkthrough, what we refer to as our mental sweat day. What I mean by mental sweat is we line up our ones with 2 stacked behind them, 3 stacked behind them. Our look teams on the other side, and we run through periods of offensive and defensive situational football, from end of game plays to coming out plays, 4th down plays, defending such plays as well. All of our special teams units and situational stuff backed up in their territory. Defending fakes, you name it, a lot of that today. So it was a day where we feel we gained a lot of ground, certainly productive, and looking forward to getting on the pads again tomorrow, going full pads and actually doing some tackling. So With that being said, questions, please.
To the offensive line, I didn't want to read too much into guys you didn't mention, but you didn't hear about Sam Putasi, but saw he was at practice at least last week, and didn't hear about Chris Randazzo. Just what was the status of each of them? And for whenever you scrimmage, will Anthony and Tyler go live?
Sam Putasi should be mentioned because he's done a really good job. Sam Patasi's shown that he's very versatile. He is healthy for the first time in a long time. He's weighing 300 pounds, and he's worked extremely hard on his body. And his versatility, knowledge of the offense has been very beneficial to us, moving him around and him helping the young guys adjust. Chris Randazzo will opt out for the season, okay? So that's the update on him. In terms of going live on the quarterbacks, we will not go live on the quarterbacks.
Hey, Mario, is that opt-out because of coronavirus concerns? And what have you learned about your team through 5 practices that you didn't know a week ago?
Yes, it is a COVID opt-out, so he'll be returning and joining us. He's in classes now, but he rejoins the team and activities in the springtime. What I've learned about our team, things that we thought were there already: toughness, resiliency, very talented, very young. We're reteaching everything. Our coaches, our team leaders, our older guys, just nothing is taken for granted. It's a restart button situation every single day. The focus, the emphasis, and the definition of culture and leadership is at the forefront. You know, and we could talk about scheme a lot, and I know you had a chance to speak with our coordinators. They jumped into it a little bit, but more than anything, I see a team that's just really determined to elevate things, to eliminate any type of entitlement, to put all 19 accomplishments behind us, because there's a lot more, like they say, there's more meat on the bone. So very forward-thinking group, and one that we will continue to challenge, and we are challenging them. We are, and they know that we practice a certain way. We're going to be physical, and that's what I've learned from them so far. And but they're a great bunch to be around. They're as fun, as enthused, as energetic as a group of guys I've ever been around.
Hey, Coach, you know, oftentimes the guys that are that transfer in, like JC transfers, graduate transfers, you expect stuff sooner rather than later out of guys like that that have limited time. You have 4 of them this year. I was wondering about TJ Bass, Jordan Happel, Anthony Brown, Bennett Williams. Can you just talk about, you know, just to the extent you can after 5 practices, where those guys are? Yeah,
no, that's a great point. You expect them, right? If you're going to try to bring a guy that's a grad transfer or a junior college player into your program, you're doing it because they already are physically mature, and you certainly want to target guys that are mentally mature, that from a cultural standpoint, they understand that they are joining a new family. They have to adapt. They have to come full way, full throttle to make it work. What have I seen from them so far? TJ Bass is going to be an outstanding football player. He is powerful. He's massive. He's smart, tough, diligent. All those things. Have been extremely impressed with him. I could say the same thing about the rest of the guys. We'll start with Anthony Brown. You know, you can imagine being a quarterback, coming off an injury like he did, getting here during the time that he did, not being able to rep with the football team, but yet to be where he's at from a schematic knowledge standpoint and function the way he is. It's a testament to him and his upbringing and his DNA. He's been excellent. Who else do we have? My man Happel. I mean, he kind of knows the defense a little bit, very comfortable with the calls. I think that he, besides experience, knowledge of the scheme, another guy that's made of the right stuff, you know, in the short time that he's been here. And, you know, you don't want to speak too much until guys have been here for a while, but everything I've seen lends to us believing that we have found ourselves a guy that's going to be a major contributor and a guy that fits in with the culture extremely well. All these guys are looking to fit in. I don't see anyone trying to take it over, make it about them. They're making it about the team. And Bennett Williams the same way. You know, Bennett was an extremely I guess he had a lot of accolades as a freshman when he was out playing in the Big Ten a little while back. And he flashes what we think is going to be one heck of a football player. Smart, really good tackler, great balance and body control, instincts, ability to play man, zone, good blitzer, okay, good in coverage. All in all, just really pleased with those 4 guys.
Hey, Coach. First, an update on Samson, if he's made a determination there and if he's playing. And then secondly, James mentioned it, but when will the first scrimmage be and kind of what do you want to get out of that?
Yeah, there's no update on Samson, but I'll get that to you when we do have an update. First scrimmage will be on Saturday. What will it entail? It'll entail everything. Our last bit of being able to play a full game type install takes place in tomorrow's practice. It will be a physical practice. We will practice all those scenarios we mentioned earlier, short yardage and goal line, and the tight red zone, some of the high red zone stuff as well. End it with 2 minute, and certainly come back on Friday and work some similar situations as well, so that on Saturday we can play football, get everybody off the field, get our coaches up in the boxes, put on the headsets, and play ball, call a game as if it was a live game. So that's going to be the scenario. Everybody will get repetitions. It'll be a large volume, I would say, from a play count standpoint, and we will grade it just like a game, and certainly start just taking that next step towards the second week of camp. We look at this week as week 1 of camp, plus the Friday, Saturday of last week. That's what we look at it as. We'll scrimmage again the following Saturday, and we'll probably have a mini scrimmage sort of so to speak, on the Wednesday, 10 days leading up to the first game.
Hey Mario, you've known the Sewell family for quite some time now, and I think anybody who's talked to their dad and knows their dad knows that's kind of what makes them tick. But just having Noah in camp now and getting to know him a bit, like how is he different than Penny was, and maybe just some what you've noticed from him so far?
Hard not to smile when you bring up that name, that family. Ironically, was on the phone last night with Arlene Sewell and Gabe Sewell, and all I told them, I guess the best way to summarize it, I said, well, I can give you confirmation. He's definitely a Sewell because he plays the game a certain way. He is he's what you want in a player, a leader, your own son, teammate. I mean, he's learning a lot. Obviously he doesn't have it all down yet. No freshman does, but physical, tough, explosive, relentless, wants to learn, eager to learn, owns up to a false read or a mistake in coverage or something like that. The expectations for him, you can't set him high enough because he has those for himself already. So can't wait to turn him loose tomorrow and watch him do what Sewells do.
Pretty doggone good family to be acquainted with if you're Coach Cristobal, right? They've got some great ones there for sure. And not just on the football field, but as Coach will tell you, great people as well. We're going to get a quick timeout. When we come back, and hear a lot more from Mario Cristobal, the Oregon football head coach. Part 2 of his press conference from today. That's next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield IMG College.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, Fish Dad!
Oh, come on! This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Joey Mack welcoming you back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union here inside the Country Financial Studio. We're coming up on our Oregon Football Coaches Show, actually. Scott and I were just talking about that before we went on the air here, putting some plans together for the Oregon Football Coaches Show. We'll be back the first game week, talking with Mario Cristobal, Jerry, and Jorgie. Should be fun. Looking forward to it. We also have our Toyota OSN Classic coming up this weekend. Friday, that's not the weekend. Saturday at 11 a.m. I guess Friday kind of is the week. It's the gateway to the weekend. Saturday at 11 a.m., Toyota OSN Classics. We're going to have the latest from Oregon football practice and what's been going on at practice. And then we'll jump into what is a very, very exciting game. It's actually going to be Oregon's Pac-12 championship win over Utah that we'll relive with you on Saturday. Meanwhile, Mario Cristobal, as the Ducks were in pads for the first time today, he talked to the media just a little while ago. Latest from Mario Cristobal.
Where does Logan Segupalu fit within the offensive line and kind of the expectation of him coming off that mission? And then looking at TJ Bass, he had a wide range of schools that offered him various schematic teams, Washington State's air raid, your guys' offense. Does that allow him maybe to play multiple spots? I was kind of surprised you included him as a tackle player.
Yeah, no question. Those are two good questions. Logan fits in perfectly with what we do. Logan went on a mission, and Logan's a naturally big guy. And on his mission, he got a little bit bigger, but he was born to be big now. Okay, I mean, they talk about big bones. You've seen his videos when he's squatting, like I think he had a house on his back. I'm not sure what he did, but he's lost probably 35 to 40 pounds, and he's moving really well. And he's a guy that just knocks out the A's and B's, and at the same time can slide his feet and anchor and pass pro. And he's smart, and he has multiple position value. He's at center, he's at guard. He's going to play this year. He's going to contribute. He's in there. He's fighting along with all those other guys in the interior as we're trying to find the best mix. And I would love to say we've settled on what we're doing with those guys up front because of the type of season and dealing with, the potential issues that COVID can bring. You need to get guys. You got to settle on a starting group, but you also got to make sure that you're prepared to handle anything. TJ Bass is, I guess, the best comparison. Reminds all of us of Shane Lemieux is what he is. And big, physical, explosive. He is not one of these push small guys. This guy's a legitimate, powerful, explosive, knock you back, finish you type of guys. But he's very talented because he's got great range, and that's why we've thrown him out there at tackle, which he's played in junior college, and he has excelled. He's excelled at left tackle. He's excelled at right tackle. We have a special player there. He reminds me of the guys that were just here, that just left, where I think if we threw him a ball today and said, hey, get in that center, I think we wouldn't skip a beat. So that's how much confidence we have in him. So, and the best part about it is the culture part, where he's to every meeting 10 minutes early. He's always staying late. So great addition to this program.
Mario, to go to some of your quarterback competitions in your coaching history, you had Wesley Carroll at FIU, but he sat and got to learn the offense before becoming the starter. You were at Alabama when Blake Sims held on to it, when Coker came in, and everyone in that region thought Coker was going to get the job that year. Do you see anything analogous to your past quarterback competitions that you were on staffs with to the situation you're in now?
I've never thought of it that way. I may end up in some kind of scenario that I've experienced before, but I see two guys that are certainly ahead of the younger guys. I see a very talented young group of guys, and I think Saturday is going to be great for them. Just let them play. And I see two guys that are older, one with experience as having played live downs, and another one that has waited and sat behind a guy who's been unbelievable here and has played against a great defense, that are just they're really good players. You hate to really just go on and on about a quarterback that hasn't played in your system yet, and Coach Moorhead's offensive system, the guy's a great quarterback coach. I mean, the details of all he does is awesome. We just want to keep them hungry, keep them competing, and make them understand and feel like their competition is no different than the ones going on at left tackle or at, Mike linebacker. It's just we do things a certain way, so we expect to find the right move, the right fit to move forward.
Coach, I realize this very early in camp and everything, but have any guys caught your eye, perhaps guys that we don't know that much about, have caught your eyes in these first 5 sessions?
Yes. Actually, on the way in here, I was writing some things down, some guys I'd like to mention that are really important. I think some guys you know about, but they need to be mentioned. The leadership of Nick Pickett and Verone McKinley have been something that's really been special to watch, and it's got to continue to grow and improve, and it can never let up. I see Jamal Hill, Steve Stevens, really just jumping out on tape, understanding what they're doing, playing fast, making plays. I see the young defensive linemen that were part of last year's class, between Keon, Dorless, Christian Williams. I think all 3 of those guys have provided some really good snaps, have been disruptive and hard to block, understand what they're doing. Good to see Adrian Jackson out there and watching Adrian grow and mature. And now he's at a point where he has an opportunity to prove himself as a guy that can be consistent and dependent upon. And he knows that, he's got an opportunity and it's going to be on him to do so. We feel he's going to do it, as well as Isaac Townsend. This guy's exploded in the weight room. So has Braden Swinson, who's been here in a short amount of time. Love watching what Cyrus has done with his body, as well as Travis. CJ has taken another massive step in development. Cyrus and Travis these guys have changed, just gotten better and better. You guys talked to Alex Forsythe yesterday. He's the guy's natural leader, respected, loved by all those guys. It goes on and on. I think George Moore has taken a massive step as a player. I think the wide receiver room, just overall, under the tutelage of Brian McClendon, has been just one of the most impressive things that I've seen. The accountability, the level of toughness, the way those guys are being held to a standard where there is no wiggle room. So, I could go on and on and on. The young linebackers, all those guys we just talked about, Noah, but Justin Flo, Jackson LeDuc have been awesome under the leadership of Drew Mathis. So, guys, I'll stop with all that there because I'll go on and on and on. I wrote a lot of notes on the way in, but since you guys aren't here to see it, I want to provide you with some information. That's real. The kickers and the punters. I mean, that ball is now there's lift, there's consistency and hang time. There's consistency in ball placement, which helps your coverage teams. David Davis, I can't say enough about him. Most unselfish guy I've ever seen. Handles a lot, manages a lot. Proud of him. Tough. I mean, in every sense of the word. So,
with Flo and Sewell, they're obviously different positions than what Kayvon is, but they were similar talent levels coming in as freshmen. I mean, can you at all compare to just readiness-wise? I mean, obviously it would be kind of crazy to expect somebody to come out and have 8 or 9 sacks like Kayvon did last year, but you definitely saw with him last year, once it clicked for him, he was, either your best or second best defender on that roster last year, just because they're similar talents. Like, where are they kind of on that spectrum?
Well, KT had the benefit of going through the winter program, the fourth quarter program, spring ball. That's a lot. These guys had, unfortunately, dealing with the COVID, the pandemic that just shut everything down. And I would say that I don't think it's going to slow them down. I think you're going to see a couple of really impactful guys. And I would throw a guy like Chris Hudson as a guy for you guys to watch as well. His explosiveness is special guy, and we put a lot on him because when you're a freshman wide receiver, it's going to require all the little things that go with being a great player. But again, Johnny Johnson, Jalen Red have done a great job tutoring him. They really have done a great job getting him to understand how we do things around here.
Mario, a lot of times during camps, the offense starts out ahead of the defense, and then once they start running the same plays over and over again, it flips. With so much newness on offense and such a talented, the list of talent you just mentioned on defense, is it kind of the opposite, or what have you seen from that competition back and forth so far?
Well, the defense is ahead, but there is enough back and forth that lends you to believe that we have a good football team. If it was an absolute just butt whooping every single day, that's when you're staying up at night because you're either phenomenal on one side or really poor on the other. You don't see that yet. The defense is definitely ahead. There's more maturity there. But there is some really good play on the offensive side as it's gelling. So And every day there's something new. There's progress in some form or fashion. Really exciting to see how that's going. And you see, you have a couple of quarterbacks that have command of it in the short time they've been here. That makes a huge difference. So all in all, it's been a very competitive, a very physical, a very intense camp, and they've handled a lot. And that's why today was important to kind of shut down the engines to be able to recoup and get ready to go tomorrow and bring it.
Mario Cristobal, the Oregon football head coach, met with the media this afternoon. He started out actually saying, "Good morning," but is it still morning? And it wasn't morning anymore. And he said that they're in the submarine. They're in Groundhog Day. Coach Cristobal meeting with the media. Up next, we're going to hear from a ton of different offensive players, including Alex Forsyth, who has really taken on a leadership role on the offensive line, a new look offensive line. We're going to hear from Alex Forsyth next. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Back inside the Country Financial Studio after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
All it takes is one drop to make a wave. One beat to inspire a track. One spark to get creativity flowing. With every drop, Life Water refreshes your mind and restores your body. Purified water, pH balanced with electrolytes for taste. Designed with original works of art on every bottle. Let us be your source of inspiration. Life Water, the feel-good water.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Tweens have mastered the art of tuning out. Jen, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through. Like making sure they're buckled up the whole ride, every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen. Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace. Learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. I want to take a look at your Oregon Imaging Center's inside look and go back in time a little bit with me. Remember, Panay Sewell opting out for this season. Ducks also lose seniors and Dallas Warmack, who transferred in, and then that great recruiting class that all played as redshirt freshmen. Brady Aiello, Jake Hansen, Shane Lemieux, Calvin Throckmorton. With all of those guys moving on, what does the offensive line look like? And Chris Randazzo today announcing that he's opting out of the season. So what does that offensive line look like? You heard Coach Cristobal talk about it there, but I think Alex Forsyth is going to be a big, big part of this offensive line. He's modeled himself a lot after Calvin Throckmorton, the ability to play different positions. And that ability to play different positions is going to be paramount because injuries and illness are a bigger concern this year than they've ever been before. That offensive line for the Ducks is going to be a real key to Oregon's success, and I think Alex Forsyth is going to be a big reason why. As he takes you inside his mentality with our Oregon Imaging Center's inside look, here's Alex Forsyth talking to the media.
First, going back to spring, or even before the spring, we were asking whether it was left guard or center. We've only seen you at center so far. Is that still the case? Are you there exclusively? And who's been, in that case, who's been working with you on each side of you at each of the guard spots?
Yeah, we've all been kind of rotating around positions, just trying to find the best five guys that can play. So I've played tackle, I played guard, I played center so far in just our our 4 fall camp practices. So we've all kind of moved around with different variations of guys who are snapping or guys who are playing guard or tackle. So we've all rotated in center, guard, and tackle, really.
Hey, Alex. Obviously, last year's group, they had all that experience and they were, had such a great, chemistry from getting thrown in there together, a lot of them as freshmen and playing so many snaps. How would you kind of describe the chemistry you have with, the next generation of offensive linemen, with many of you guys kind of probably bonding behind the scenes and preparing behind those guys?
Yeah. So I think the past few years, I came in with George Moore and Ryan Walk were in my class. And so I think we've all been with the twos these past few years and kind of bonding and gaining that chemistry that's so valuable, even though we haven't, played a lot of snaps on the field together. I think just kind of behind the scenes in practice, we've definitely benefited from all these. And then we got a lot of new young guys coming in. Obviously, we have 0 returning starters, which is some big shoes to fill, especially with the older guys and how experienced they were, and all of them starting like over 50 games or whatever it is between Throck, Shane, and Jake and those guys. So, some big shoes to fill, but, we just got to keep working every single day. And I think the chemistry that we built over the past few years has definitely helped us, and definitely these past few months getting the young guys in and, bonding with them and teaching them the playbook. I think that's really, really helped us and benefited from it.
Hey, Alex, you mentioned playing all those different O-line spots. You seem like you had a pretty good player to follow there with Calvin in terms of his versatility. Just what did you learn from him? And then maybe did you have a comfort zone, a favorite spot up on the offensive line?
Yeah. Throck was, that's a true Swiss Army knife right there of offensive line play. He played everything, and he never complained one bit about moving from left tackle, whether it was left tackle to right tackle or right tackle to center or to right guard, whatever it was. He just didn't complain. And so I think that's something you gotta recognize. It's not easy going from different positions, but you just got to do what you got to do. Like whatever's best for the team, whatever's going to help the team win. You got to do that. I think that's a big thing that I picked up from him. So I think I'm comfortable with whatever position they want me at, and whatever position I can help the team win at is what I want to play and what I want to do, and whatever they want me to do, I'll do it.
One of the biggest things on offensive line is who's going to be the leader, who's going to be the leaders taking over with this whole new cast of characters. Tell me about who's kind of taken on those roles so far.
Just the guys that have been here, leadership it's not inherited. It's got to be earned. And I think that's the only way you can respect leadership is if the person earns it. So, I'm trying to earn a leadership spot on this offensive line. And I think a good quote Coach Mirabal put up today in the O-line room was from Michael Jordan. It says, you earn your leadership every day. So I think that's the perfect kind of mantra for the O-line room right now is it needs leadership, because you got 5 guys that left that played a lot of snaps here and that were obviously really talented and high caliber players. So replacing that, you need to have leadership ready to go. So I'm trying my best to kind of win over the room and be a leader and have them be able to follow. And, all the older guys, Ryan Walk, Stephen Jones, George Moore, all those guys we're all trying to lead this unit.
Not only do you guys have to replace 5 starters, you also have to learn a new offense system under Joe Moorhead. I'm kind of curious, just from an offensive line standpoint, what's different about this offense compared to what you've been used to the last couple of years?
Yeah, there's definitely similarities in what we do. I can't go into, a whole lot of detail of what we're running, but like football is pretty much the same. There's a lot of the same schemes or similar blocking schemes that carry over, and there's some different stuff. So I think the biggest thing is you got to adapt to whatever the coach wants you to run, and certain plays that are different than what we've ran before, and certain plays are the same. There's a lot of differences in there, but yeah, it's just adapting to whatever they throw at you.
Hey, Alex, I'm just curious, what's probably your biggest takeaway, if you could choose one, from last year's group? And is the mindset for you guys on the O-line different heading into this fall camp, knowing that you guys are going to get a lot more time on the field?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we learned from the group last year is that, you know, I talked about the earned leadership and earning a right to play at Oregon, and that nothing's inherited. I think that's a big thing that they showed us, and they were the most consistent group I've ever seen. They brought it every single day, and you know, they were the leaders of the team. So I guess just seeing that blueprint, that's something that I'm very grateful that we got to see, and that we can kind of carry over. And we've seen the blueprint, so we're trying to basically follow in their footsteps in terms of leading the team and you know, earning the respect in the leadership positions. And for going into this year, yeah, I mean, every year you got to go in wanting to compete. Obviously, last year it was really tough to. You know, if you wanted to get on the field, we had like 6 or 7 guys that were rotating in. So tough to break that rotation. And now there's, you know, 5 open spots, and everybody's trying to earn a position and like a starting spot. So it's definitely competition. But that's how it's been since I've got here.
Oregon offensive line over the last few years has gained a lot of national notoriety, mostly because of Panay's success and the guys who went on to play in the NFL last year. I'm curious, with Coach Cristobal's success of recruiting the offensive line, and the type of caliber of players that are coming now, I'd like to get your assessment of that caliber of offensive line members who are there now, and Oregon being called Offensive Line U.
Yeah, you know, I think that's a cool title to have, I guess. You know, like I said, the other guys that were here before, Shane, Jake, Brady, Throck, Panay, Dallas, all those guys, you know, they earned the right to be what I thought was the best offensive line in the country last year. And I know people will try to argue that, but that's my opinion. That's what I think I thought they were personally. And, you know, they were the most consistent group. Like I said, they came up and showed up the same time every day before everybody else. And, you know, they worked their butts off to get where they are. And so kind of seeing that, you know, that's what it really takes, you know, to play offensive line here, I think is just grinding. And, you know, obviously recruiting high caliber guys, but when you can get high caliber guys and match them up with, if they have high character too, you know, you're going to have a special unit, most definitely.
Good stuff from Alex Forsyth. I mean, it is offensive line U. We know that. And a big reason why were guys that worked really, really hard, and some guys that Coach Cristobal inherited, but certainly made them a lot better. Now we're going to see that next generation of offensive linemen here at Oregon. And that's your inside look at the offensive line. Brought to you by Oregon Imaging Centers, established in 1988. Oregon Imaging Centers would like to remind you that you have a voice in choosing your medical imaging provider. Choose quality, choose service, choose Oregon Imaging Centers. The choice is yours. Up next, we're going to choose to hear from Cyrus Bibilikio. That's after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
All it takes is one drop to make a wave. One beat to inspire a track. One spark to get creativity flowing. With every drop, Life Water refreshes your mind and restores your body. Purified water, pH balanced with electrolytes for taste. Designed with original works of art on every bottle. Let us be your source of inspiration. Life Water, the feel-good water.
This is the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Whoa, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I could really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff, create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know.
Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing.
Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Cyrus Pibilikio really has a nose for the end zone. It's kind of cool. We were listening back to that Washington game from last year where he was hurdling defenders and just going out of his mind. And Cyrus Pibilikio, I really love the way that he approaches life and approaches the game. And Cyrus met with the media here yesterday. We didn't get a chance to play it yesterday as he talked about the running back room, the competition, and what this offense looks like. Cyrus Pibilikio.
Hey, Cyrus, talk to you early during the quarantine period when you were talking about just like how much you were investing in your body, just working out at home and everything. And, that at that point, that was about 4 months ago now. Just how did that process continue for you? And how do you feel now, 4 days into actually putting that onto the field?
Yeah, I feel amazing. I cut some weight too, lost about 5 pounds, and put on some muscle, some healthy weight. So I feel great. I actually went down to San Diego, even purchased my own Airbnb, and really just stayed in SoCal just to dedicate myself to working out. And what I really worked on was just straight line running and getting faster. So yeah.
Hey, you're becoming a veteran of this offense now. So with this first year, and you guys are mostly installed with this first year offense of Moorhead, describe how Duck fans are going to see differences this year with this offense versus what they've seen in the past.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, really, we're taking a lot of shots in practice, and that's what I've noticed. Tyler and the other quarterbacks they're opening up, and it's awesome. Same philosophy of the smash mouth football. I think that's always going to be here as long as Cristobal's here, and I hope it is. But really just opening up and taking shots and going downfield. I know we really want to start fast. So yeah.
Obviously, during a normal year, you guys would have had a full spring and you would have been working out together all summer. So how is that chemistry reset with 5 new offensive linemen and a new quarterback going in a short amount of time with, a veteran skill set, especially in the running back room?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just the team chemistry in general, off the field, that's something that we kind of lacked this year. And that's kind of, I guess it's been a challenge, not really a struggle. We weren't allowed, we were limited to team activities and just really just bonding. But as far as the O-line, I mean, a lot of those guys were learning from our previous O-line last year, and we know how great they are. So as far as the chemistry, it's going really well. The first 2 days without pads, it was just a little iffy because we didn't have too much push off the ball. But really, as soon as we strap the pads on, I mean, I still feel like I'm running behind the same O-line. So it's the same. And as far as Shuck, he's very confident. He was under Herbert's wing, so he has a lot of the same contributions, and he's going to do well. And as far as Anthony Brown too, he's a veteran, not in this program, but he's an older guy, and he's taking lead, and it's going really well. I'm really excited for this year.
Hey, just with all the uncertainty this offseason, what kind of things did you do to stay focused? And also, were you able to sort of step into a leadership role and with some of the younger guys now that you're a veteran?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, it was really hard just because we lacked, the team events. But as far as, I mean, something as little as group chats, Zoom meetings, anything I could do, really just to reach out to some of the younger guys, I tried to do. Reached out a lot to Noah Sewell. I think we just have that natural Polynesian bond. So I was checking up on him a lot, but just making sure everyone's good. I know it's really hard as a true freshman to come into this because this is something we've never experienced. So I can only imagine coming straight from high school. It's a bit easier for us because we're adjusted and we're used to everything. So just doing anything I can, and I'm gonna, now that we're together, it's kind of nice, and I'm gonna keep pushing on them
And, in practice we're going hard, but at the same time, I'm reminding them, have fun, enjoy the process. Because honestly, my years here are flying by, and I just, it feels like yesterday that I just got on the campus. So that's all I'm really doing.
Obviously, we've seen the three-headed monster use CJ and Travis a fair amount. The younger guys, Sean, Javon, and Trey, who just got here, haven't seen them much. What can you maybe say about their running styles and maybe how they're coming along?
Yeah, for sure. You can really tell who's been working hard in this off season, and I think the three younger guys have. But Sean Dollars to me is really he's different this year. He has a lot more hustle to him. He's not as fatigued, and I know he worked a lot on his running as well. And just mentality-wise too, I think he got that year under his belt. So he's coming aggressive and he's hitting people and he's picking up blocks, which is huge in our offense. Trey Benson, super athletic kid. It's amazing how athletic he is at such a young age, and even just the way he's built too. He looks like he's been in our program for a few years. He's around the same weight as me, same height. He's fluid. Javon, too, he's a lot more comfortable in this offense. Last year, he was running a bit high in practice. Now he's lowering his pads. He's bending. Everyone's just taking all of Mastro's advice and really just using it on the field. So those three guys, I'm excited for those three.
Kind of curious difference between this year's offense and previous few offenses you guys have run in your time here, and just what's it been like to have to pick up an offense that's new with 4 spring practices and that's basically it?
Yeah, it's kind of nice because during the quarantine period we had a lot of time to go over installs. So as far as mentally, the first few days of camp have almost felt repetitive, which is in a good way. Just because we've been on those Zoom meetings, we've been hitting the new installs a lot. As far as on the field, it's just great just because everything works. It makes sense. It's a very fluid offense. I'm very comfortable. And I always feel like there's always a plan B or C in that offense. So somehow I always feel like something's going to work out. A lot of RPOs, run pass option. So it feels great. And I love that we're taking shots because it even softens up the defense for the run game and vice versa. So
kind of following up on that, Cyrus, going back to when Joe was first hired, did you at the time look into Mississippi State and see how he used the Kylan Hill a lot out of the backfield? You guys went to CJ and you a good bit in the receiving game, a little bit less last year, more so in 18, but he went to Hill a lot in the receiving game, and saw a little bit in spring. It's not giving anything away. Clearly there's a little bit more of an option run element in this offense than there was previously. Can you speak to just what the differences really are between this offense and the previous offense?
Yeah, for sure. Although we're taking a lot of shots, what's emphasized huge in our offense is checking down to the running backs, which of course I love. Who wouldn't, especially at my position. But really, honestly, everything is just opening up. It's like I said before, it's awesome to see how fluid everything is going, and especially for the first 4 real practices that we've had. Besides spring, we're doing really well. And I think that's a huge sign. There's fundamentals. We haven't been hitting against each other, and I haven't hit somebody in a few months. So I get things as bending and hands inside and all that. But as far as the offense, I'm super excited about. So
great stuff from Cyrus Bibilicchio. Calling him TD Licchio. He just has a way of finding the end zone. Really well-spoken and articulate guy. You're going to like to see more of him, I think, moving forward. So Tyler says in the comment section today, I want my cardboard cutout to sit next to Joey.
Are you sure?
So wait, now, Tyler, I got to clarify. I need clarification. Do you want your cardboard cutout that's at Autzen Stadium to be next to me wherever I am at Autzen Stadium? Or do you mean like you want cardboard cutout here next to me at the desk? This is an important clarification. It's an important clarification, Tyler. All right, we're going to get a quick timeout. For those of you wondering about the cardboard cutouts, goducks.com/fan cutouts. We're doing cardboard cutouts at Autzen. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm hoping that I'll be able to roam amongst the cardboard. More Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union coming up inside the Country Financial Studio after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
All right, everybody in the car, let's go.
What are we gonna do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not that far, sweetie.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already?
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
They say that car crashes happen in slow motion. The reality is that crashes happen fast. There's no time to think and no time to check if your child is in the right car seat. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your kids in the right seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Get more info at safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. Time for your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. Keeping you up to date on some other things outside of football. The women's Final Four, unfortunately, won't be played in Portland in 2026 or 2025. Made a bid. Hope for the best. But Portland was awarded the NCAA Tournament Women's Regional in 2024. Also got the men's NCAA Tournament first and second rounds in 2026. I feel like that's a consolation prize. Hayward Field, though, going to be hosting 6 of the next 7 NCAA track and field championships, including this season. Well done to Oregon Track and Field, Hayward Field. 6 of the next 7 years NCAA championship will be hosted at the brand new and really outstanding Hayward Field. Chris Randazzo is opting out of the season due to COVID-19 concerns. Mario Cristobal announcing that this morning. 2-minute drill brought to you by Cafe Yum restaurants throughout Oregon and Washington, where special diet requests, custom orders are always welcome. Menus, nutrition info, cafeyum.com. We're going to finish up today hearing from Johnny Johnson, a guy who really had a great end of the season last year. Jorgie can't say enough good things about Johnny Johnson, and we heard from him talking with the media yesterday.
To speak of the differences of Moorhead's offense, obviously I'm guessing you're still probably working on the outside, but how different is your position and your role in this offense compared to the prior offense, and how much more diverse or not is the route tree? Just how different is it compared to the previous offense for you?
I think the playbook's really wide open. They got me playing a lot of different spots from inside to outside, all over the place, and I'm excited to see what we're going to do. As far as different, it's a different offense, but, we're still taking shots like we used to, and it's going to be fun.
After, the succession of so many guys opting out, and then, you put out your message saying, you're coming back, just what was that day like? Because that seemed like a pretty joyous day for, the Oregon fan base just after the cascading news of people leaving. Just what was that like for you?
It was hard seeing some of my brothers leave. That was tough. I always wanted to play for 4 years here, and that was something I want to do. When I saw that Demo decided to come back, I was super excited because that class that came in, we've experienced a lot together, and I'm just trying to finish it together.
Johnny, as the guy who led the team in catch last year, what's it been like for you to watch Justin Herbert kind of tear it up in the NFL going against teams that have Mahomes and Breeze and Brady so far?
I'm excited for him. I've watched every game. He's had a lot of close ones. He's almost won a lot of them. I'm excited for the way he's playing, and he's going to be a 10+ year guy in the league, and I'm excited to see what he can do in the future.
You know Tyler Shuck pretty well. You guys are from the same area in Arizona. Kind of segues right into that. What can we expect out of Tyler Shuck as a quarterback, and what kind of you seen from him since Herbert has graduated and moved on from the program, just from like a leadership standpoint?
He's resilient. He has a heart for the game, and he gets guys together and gets guys juiced and ready to play. And I'm excited to see what he can do this year. He's doing a great job right now, and we'll just see how this thing goes.
Hey, Johnny, how was I guess it's obviously a very strange offseason. I'm curious for you, how did you spend your time? And I know you and Tyler are from the same state. Did you guys maybe get together and work on some things back in Arizona?
Initially, when the pandemic had first started and we got sent home, me and him were working every day in and out for months. And then when we came back, we were still working together. So, we've had a lot of time together, and I'm excited for this year. And my off-season training really, me and Tyler were at the same facilities in Arizona, different trainers and different things, getting field work in the weight room, all that. It was fun, and we're ready to go.
Hey, Johnny. So with the departure of so many players on the offensive line, and of course with Justin and some of the guys in the running back and receivers room, how's it been just being one of the few veteran guys in this offense? And have you kind of felt like you stepped up as a vocal leader or just –
I think my vocal leadership has definitely increased since last year. I feel like I need to do that in order for us to be a great team. And I'm just excited. I've always wanted that leadership role. I've always wanted to be a captain for this team, and that's something I put pride in, and I'm excited.
That's cool, hearing that from Johnny Johnson. I think a guy who wants to lead is important. Not everybody has that just sort of want or need to lead. But we heard Alex Forsyth talk about that a little bit and how he wants to earn that leadership role. Michael Jordan quote, actually. And now I think Johnny Johnson feels very similar. You've got some great guys. After really losing some leadership, the entire offensive line, Justin Herbert, and you talk about guys like Javon Holland, Penei Sewell, Thomas Graham, who've opted out, guys like that are leaders. Ducks are going to need some of that. And I think the leadership for this team, just hearing these guys talk this week, it's in good hands. It's in really good hands. Tomorrow on the show, Lisa Peterson is going to join us, senior women's administrator, one of the corner office occupiers here for the Ducks. We're also going to hear from Brian McClendon. We didn't get to that today, and some more interviews after practice tomorrow. This is great. Hearing from everybody. See you tomorrow.
Okay, man, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're going to go out there and be an all-star caregiver. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You got to dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Show the world that you're tougher than tough. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.